Hello students. Today we are going to study the third part of chapter number 2 of our class 9th Science NCERT textbook. In the last session we discussed the separation of the components of simple mixtures which could be separated easily by simple techniques. Now today we are going to study the separation of the components of complex mixtures which cannot be separated through simple techniques. So that's why we are going to use some complex techniques through which these mixtures could be separated. So first process is evaporation. Evaporation is used for separating a mixture of a non-volatile and a volatile substance. Here if we can see, this is a volatile substance. Water here is taken as a volatile substance and salt is taken as a non-volatile substance. Now if we want to separate the volatile substance from a non-volatile substance, we can do it with the process of evaporation. We will just take water in the bucket and we will put bucket or we can say a beaker, and we will add some salt inside it. We will stir it and then we will keep that solution under a burner with the help of we'll keep it in our tripod stand, that is a stand, and we'll start the burner from below. So we'll observe from the solution the salt residues will be left and the water will move in the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. Water vapor will move in the water will move in the air and the salt residues will be left inside the beaker. So this way we can separate salt from water through the process of evaporation. So evaporation, as we discussed in the previous slide, it is used for separating a mixture of a non-volatile and a volatile substance. Now application, that in what are the other components which can be separated through evaporation, that is the colored component from ink. If we want to separate the colored components from the ink, through evaporation we can separate it. Then if we want to separate water from sugar and water and salt. Now if we want to separate, as we know that cream comes from milk. Now if we want to separate that cream, how we will do it? So with the help of centrifugation. Another technique is centrifugation. First we studied about evaporation. In that we separated salt from water. Second technique is centrifugation. In this we will separate the cream from milk. So milk is put in a centrifuging machine. There is a centrifuging machine in which we will keep the milk and the cream separates from the milk, and the dense particles, they will settle down and the lighter particles will come up. So as we can see, if we go in detail for this activity, we'll take some full cream milk in a test tube. The milk which is having full of cream, we will put it in a test tube. We will centrifuge it by using a centrifuging machine for 2 to 3 minutes. We'll put it in the centrifuging machine, and then what we will do, if many times in the school centrifuging machine is not available, so how can we do it? We can do this by using a milk churner which is available in the kitchen. Through milk churner also we can separate it. Then this way we can separate it. So here the dense particles, they will separate from the lighter particles. Now then applications of centrifugation. Centrifugation is also used for separating cream from milk, for separating butter from cream, and for squeezing out water from wet clothes in a washing machine. As we know that in a washing machine there is a dryer, and in that dryer if we put wet clothes, they totally dry up. So how they are done? This is a type of centrifugation. Now another technique is a separating funnel. Now if we want to separate two immiscible liquids, two liquids which are immiscible, means which are not able to dissolve. How we will separate them? As if we can take the example of, let us try with to separate the kerosene oil from water. If we want to separate the kerosene oil from water, here we have taken, this is the kerosene oil and this is the water, and we want to separate it. How will we separate? So through this separating funnel, it's just a simple technique. What we will do, we will pour the mixture of kerosene oil and water in this separating funnel. In this funnel we will pour the mixture. Then what we will do, we will let it stand undisturbed for some time. We will keep it as it is for some time, and so the layers of oil and water will be formed. Two separate layers of oil and water will be formed as it is formed here. This is the layer of oil and this is the layer of water. So this way two separate layers of oil and water are formed. Then open the stopcock of the separating funnel. We'll open this stopcock. This is the stopcock of the separating funnel. This we will open it, and we will pour out the lower layer of the water carefully, and then slowly from here the lower layer of water will pour out. We'll pour out, and then we will close the stopcock of the separating funnel as the oil reaches the stopcock. As the oil reaches the stopcock, we will stop the stopcock, button of the stopcock. So this way we can separate two immiscible liquids, means two liquids which cannot dissolve. So they are called as immiscible liquids. So this way through a separating funnel we can separate them. Then comes the applications, where then separating funnel is also used to separate a mixture of oil and water, and used in the extraction of iron from ore. If we want to take out iron from the ore, we can do it with the help of a separating funnel. Now another process is sublimation. Sublimation is, through sublimation we can separate the components of a mixture having a sublime substance and a non-sublime substance. Means we can separate sublime and non-sublime substance through sublimation. Example, the mixture of ammonium chloride and salt. How can we do it? So as we can see here, there is a the burner is there. Then there is a mixture of salt and ammonium chloride, that is the mixture of camphor and salt. Here a china dish is kept. This is the china dish, and this is the mixture of camphor and salt. Then what we will do, we will start the burner, and as we know that then we will start the burner. So the camphor, that camphor changes directly from solid to gaseous state on heating. So whenever we will start the burner, the mixture of camphor and salt, so the camphor will move. There will move upwards and will stick here. It sticks here inside the burner. This ammonium chloride is written, that is solidified camphor. Solidified camphor, it is in the form of ammonium chloride. It sticks here, and here in this there are vapors of camphor, and the salt residues are left at the bottom as it is. So this way they can be separated. Here we will get the solidified camphor, so this camphor is separated from the salt, and here we will get the vapors of camphor. So this way we can separate a sublime substance from a non-sublime substance through sublimation. That is the separation of camphor and salt by sublimation. Then mixture of ammonium chloride, camphor, then naphthalene with salt, that also we can separate by sublimation. Now ink is a mixture of several colors, that we know that ink is a mixture of several colors. Now for separating various colors of ink, if we want to separate the various colors of ink, what process we will do? We will do it by how we will do. We will take a thin strip of filter paper. As you can see, this is a thin strip of filter paper. We'll draw a line on it using a pencil. As you can see that here a line is drawn, and approximately 3 centimeter above the lower edge. Above the lower edge, that is approximately 3 centimeter above the lower edge. This is 3 centimeter distance, this much. Now we will put a small drop of ink. Here we put a small drop of ink. This is a small drop of ink. As you can see, it is mentioned. Then what we will do, we'll let it dry at the center of the line. Then we at the center of the line, here it is put. Then we let it dry. Then lower the filter paper into the jar or a glass or beaker or test tube. We will put this filter paper in the glass or a jar containing water. This is water. Now what we will do, then leave it undisturbed. We'll keep it undisturbed. Will not mix it or nothing we'll do. Then we'll watch carefully, and as the water rises up on the filter paper, so here the water level will keep on rising in the filter paper. Not here the water level will not rise, it will rise in the filter paper. As you can see, till here the water level has rised up. Till here the water level rises in the filter paper. So here we can see dots of two different colors. This is red color and this is blue color. So here two colors of ink are separated. Then as we note it down, as the time goes on, the filter paper, the water level has rised up till here. So till here it was red color. So the red color separated here and blue color separated here. So this way, by the process of chromatography, this process is known as chromatography. So by the process of chromatography, we can separate different colors of ink. So here as we can see, this is the light red color and this is the blue color, and the water level has risen till here, and here we got separate colors of ink. So chromatography, we uses chromatography to separate solutes that are dissolved in the same solvents. So other applications of chromatography is to separate the colors of dye. If we want to separate colors of dye or drugs from blood, if we want to separate the drugs from blood, then also chromatographic technique is used. Then how can we separate two miscible liquids? As we studied earlier in the previous slides, camphor and salt were separated using, they were the two immiscible liquids. Salt and kerosene oil. Water and kerosene oil, they were the two immiscible liquids that we separated through separating funnel, kerosene oil and water. Now two miscible liquids means two liquids which are dissolved, or we can say which are soluble in each, which are soluble. How can we separate them? So when temperature rises to the boiling point of a liquid, then the liquids start to convert into gas. As this is clear to us that as the temperature rises, the boiling point of a liquid, then it will start converting into gas, and when the temperature falls down, then the gas converts into liquid. This is simple, that we know. Okay, so how can we do it? We uses distillation. We use distillation technique to separate two miscible liquids. So how we do it? So let us try to separate acetone and water. Acetone and water, we want to separate it. So what we'll do, we'll take the mixture of acetone and water in a distillation flask. In a distillation flask, this is a distillation flask, and in this we have taken the mixture of acetone and water, and we'll fill it with thermometer. Fill it with thermometer. Here is the thermometer and it is filled with it. Now heat the mixture slowly, keeping a close watch at the thermometer. Then we will heat it, as the burner is kept here, and we'll keep a watch on the thermometer. Then the acetone vaporizes. As I told you here also, that if the temperature rises, then the liquid will start convert into gas. So here, as the temperature rises, as we boil, the acetone will vaporize. The acetone starts vaporizing and it condenses in the condenser. Here is the water condenser, so it will condense in the condenser. This is the condenser and can be collected from the condenser outlet, and we can collect this acetone from the water outlet. This is the condenser outlet, and we can collect it from that. We can collect it from condenser outlet, that is here. We can collect it here. This is the water outlet, then the water is left behind in the distillation flask. The water will be left behind because the acetone vaporizes, and we can collect it in the condenser outlet. That is this acetone, here it is collected. This is the outlet. And the water will remain in the distillation flask itself. So this way we can separate acetone from water. The method is called as distillation. Then comes the fractional distillation. It is a complex type of distillation. This distillation process is simple distillation. Now, fractional distillation is a complex type of distillation in which we can separate a mixture of two or more miscible liquids. If we want to separate two or more miscible liquids, here we separated two miscible liquids, but if the miscible liquids are more than two, then we can separate it through fractional distillation. That's why it is a little bit complex technique. So for example, if we want to separate different gases from air, as we know that air consists of different gases. Now if we want to separate different gases from air, then we can use this technique. So the apparatus is similar as that we studied in for distillation. There's except the difference is that if a fractionating column is fitted in between, here a fractionating column is there, which was not present in simple distillation technique. And between the distillation and the condenser, this is the flask, and this between the condenser a fractionating column is there. And a simple fractionating column, it is a tube which is packed with glass beads. As we can see, these are the glass beads. It is packed with that, and the beads provide surface for the vapors. It provides the surface for the vapors to cool and condense repeatedly. The process is similar as that we studied in for distillation. So with this we complete our chapter number 2 of class 9 science NCERT textbook. Thank you and have a great day.